Good morning, y'all. Good morning. I just love tea. First thing in the morning, okay? Hey, how y'all doing? I'm Dara, aka Insecurelynatural. Welcome if you're new here. If you've been here already, welcome back, okay? So y'all, at first, this video was gonna be like a tutorial video. I was basically gonna show you guys how I retwisted my hair. But y'all, let me tell y'all, Shorty ran into some problems, okay? I ran into a couple problems, actually. So I decided to make this video kind of like a tutorial, but it's kind of like do's and don'ts. But I don't know how to explain what type of video this is. So basically, I'm going to show you guys how I retwisted my hair for the very first time. But most importantly, show you guys the mistakes I made, as well as how to fix those mistakes and how to prevent those mistakes from happening in the first place. And this video is not just about the mistakes that I made, okay? Because my retwist still came out looking good. So this is what my hair looked like before I washed it, before I touched it with any type of anything. This is my new growth. My hair had grown in some places. It was long. I had new growth longer in some areas than others. And this is where my initial, I won't even say my initial problem started, but this was a big reason why I ran into one of the problems that I ran into. The advice that I will give is don't wait too long to retwist your hair in the starter lock phase. A lot of people tell you to hold off to wait for your retwist. But in my opinion, I feel like that's for people whose starter locks are like in the process of locking already. Like you have some buds and you have some real like lockness going on. I waited 2 months before I retwisted my hair. And I washed my hair once before with no retwist. And I feel like that's what was detrimental. Because my hair is so new to the locking process, it doesn't know what's going on. So a lot of my like stray hairs and single strands that weren't in twists, when I washed it that first time, started to marry and tangle and mat onto other locks. By me waiting a long time, made my hair grow. It made single strand hairs come loose, grow out, whatever they want to do. By me wetting my hair, because I wet my hair every single day for moisture, all of that played a part in my hair marrying. And I'm gonna get more into my married roots a little later in this video. I would say in your starter lock phase, in the beginning at least, especially the very beginning, retwisting is crucial. Like 4 weeks. I feel like at 4 weeks, that's the perfect time to go ahead and retwist your hair. I waited 7 to 8 weeks. I believe it was about 8 weeks. Don't wait as long as I did, especially if you have my hair type. I have a very tight, coily pattern. My hair is kinky. I'm like 4B, 4C. It's mainly 4B. I did separate my locks after I washed, but I still feel like your hair don't know what's going on when you the newbie, okay? So my best advice is to retwist, okay? After 4 weeks, just go ahead and retwist it up. Go ahead and get them parts right and tight, okay? Okay, so let's get into the main issues that I had with this retwist. So the very first issue that I ran into was clip placement. Y'all, okay, your girl just knew I had everything down. I just knew that after watching 10 million retwist videos, I would have this, you know what I'm saying, down packed. I never thought about the clips. I never thought about where I'm gonna be placing these clips at. I never, in my mind, I just thought it would come second nature. When I was trying to watch Umbrella Academy on my couch after I had finished retwisting my hair, I was so uncomfortable. Like, y'all, I had so many clips on the side, especially this side of my head, because I like laying on this side of my, I don't know why, y'all, this is my go-to side to lay on. But y'all, I had so many clips in my head. It was so uncomfortable. Y'all know the metal clips just be pulling and pinching, and it was like yanking little strands. It wasn't it. It was not it, okay? So I ended up searching online on YouTube, of course, and I found this young lady's YouTube. I will link her YouTube. Well, I will link the video below. And she really, you know, cleared it up for me. It really helped me decide where I was going to put my clips, because I did take some clips out and kind of rearranged them. Now, it wasn't the best that time because I had already stacked all the clips in my head, but the next go around, I will definitely follow some of her advice and tips as far as clip placement. Once I took all them clips out of my head, y'all, I was able to watch my show in peace. I even fell asleep. I was knocked out, y'all. I ain't take my clips out of my hair until about 3 a.m. because I was knocked out with the clips. I had no issues with the clips after that. So clip placement is crucial, especially if you plan on air drying. So the next thing that I want to talk about is lock popping. When I first twisted my hair and when I first started like noticing that my roots were marrying, I was popping my locks. Like I was popping those strands apart. But later on, I kind of realized like, girl, you ripping your hair apart when you do that. That is what lock popping basically is. It's when you take two locks that are married, like you have hair, loose hairs that's connecting the two, and you take and you yank them apart to get that hair separate. If you want your locks to be more uniform and you want them to be neat, you want to be able to see your parts, a lot of times people lock pop. But when I was lock popping, some instances I felt my roots being pulled out of my scalp from doing that, because you don't know what strands is connected to what lock. You don't know how close to your roots and your scalp that loose hair is. You just don't know. And so like I literally felt a few of my hairs coming out of the root, like ripping out of the root, because you're just taking the locks and you just popping. You don't know what's going on. As you all know, I'm fairly new to the lock community. So, you know, some things, just like with the loose natural hair community, some things you're going to agree with and some things you're not. As far as lock popping is concerned, it ain't for me. It's not for your girl. It could be because I just came from being a loose natural and I just know the damages that come with ripping your hair apart and ripping the root out of your scalp. For me and my babies, I ain't popping nothing over here, okay? These babies ain't popping. So what I did was I took some scissors and I basically, wherever I felt a marrying lock, when I got to that section, I cut those hairs and I proceed to twist up the section, twist up the loose hair or whatever that was in that section and attach it to back to its lock. If you're an OG subscriber to my channel, y'all know how I feel about the snapping and popping. Like, it does something to me, y'all. It gave me PTSD when I was trying to lock pop. It was not for me, okay? It just wasn't for me. So after I done gave y'all all this, watch out for this, watch out for this, I will say on a positive note that very first retwist, y'all, that first retwist will make you be like, okay, this really me. I'm really locked up, y'all. I'm locked up, y'all. I loved having them clips in my hair. I love just the whole feeling of knowing that I'm a step further in my lock journey. Like, I was snapping it up with them clips in, y'all. You heard me? You couldn't tell me now with them clips in. I was just like, well, I couldn't do that with the clips in my head, but y'all get it. Those that didn't already had their first retwist or had they hair retwisted before, y'all get it, okay? So upon waking up for the second time and taking a better look at my hair, y'all, I had noticed that I had twisted some of my locks clockwise and twisted some of the other ones counterclockwise. My next advice would be pay attention to which way that you are retwisting your locks. It's easy to say that because I've seen that on so many of the tutorials that I have watched that you would think that would have been my first instinct. And it was, but when I ran into all those issues that I had ran into, that kind of went to the back of my mind, and I was more so focused on just getting the clip on and just making sure that the twist is tight enough to, you know what I'm saying? So I really threw that out the window, to be honest. A lot of people, like a lot of sources and a lot of articles that I read, said that when you retwist your hair in a clockwise motion, you're twisting it in a way that your curls, if you have curly hair, your curls naturally go. So it makes it easier to lock, I'm assuming. A lot of articles debunk this, and really it doesn't matter which way you retwist your hair, just as long as you find a way to retwist it and you do it that way every time so that your hair gets used to that routine. Right now I have some that's going clockwise, some going counterclockwise, but the next time that I retwist, and every retwist here on out will be twisted clockwise. I choose clockwise because a lot of locticians twist to the right, and although I love doing my hair, one day I may decide to go to a loctician, and I just want to be on the same page, you feel me? The next time that I retwist, all of my locks will be in the right direction. I really wanted to talk about this because I didn't find a lot of answers to my bunching questions on YouTube. If you prevent this problem from happening from jump, you won't have to fix it like I do. So let's talk about bunching. Okay, so the day after I retwisted my hair, I noticed that I had these thick, it looked like buds. It looked like my locks were budding. I didn't have any signs of budding before I retwisted my hair. So I'm like, how the next day I got budding out of nowhere? So I'm feeling my locks, and you know, a few of them is feeling a little pregnant. I'm like, okay, we got some budding, okay. Something in the back of my mind was just like, girl, this ain't right. How we got budding already? We just retwisted our hair yesterday. We would have seen some type of sign there. We got this big old bud, like, girl. So I went in, did some research, and realized that it was bunching. When you have longer hair, your locks are more prone to bunching. And there's a lot of different ways that bunching comes about. My bunching came when I was retwisting my hair. As y'all know, or if y'all don't know, I started my locks with 2-strand twists with my first wash, and along the way I have been running into a lot of unraveling. A lot of times with some of my locks that are kind of unraveling, but the ends are still, you know, very much together. A lot of those locks I don't touch because, for one, I hate starting the lock over by retwisting it. Okay, y'all see how it's straight right here? Like, it's not a tight twist. Like, if you compare it to this one, you see here, instead of twisted around each other, they're kind of just like side by side. But when you're retwisting your hair, you're kind of pushing the hair down, because as you're retwisting, you're pushing it down. And that's why a lot of people palm roll once they twist it down, because, you know, you have that line of demarcation between your new growth hair that you just twisted and your old hair, which is, in my case, the 2-strand twist. So in between me twisting and that 2-strand twist, it created a bump. This hair here basically scrunched up like that, giving me the illusion that I had a bud. I had a few of those, actually. I had about 4 or 5 of those in my head. I'll show y'all this one in the back. Y'all see that? It looks like a bud, but really it's the demarcation of me not twisting this twist. One, I didn't twist this twist all the way down. Secondly, I didn't palm roll it. You're kind of turning a 2-strand twist into a coil. You know, if you already have coiled hair, it's a little different, but with 2-strand twists, you have 2 different textures. So at least at that line of demarcation, you want to palm roll. So in conclusion, y'all, I will say I'm in love with my lock journey. I will say that after having my wild and woolly starter locks for 2 months with no retwists, I will say that initially, because right now I'm 5 days in my retwist, but when I first did my retwist, y'all, my hair was so like uniform and it was just so flat, and I was so used to having all that new growth underneath where my hair was just sitting up, and just having this complete like chill, relaxed hair. I like my retwist when it's 5, 6, 7 days in, where it still looks put together, but it's still a little frizzy too. I welcome the frizz, y'all. In about 2-3 more weeks, couple more trips to the gym, it's gonna be back, okay? If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up for me because it helps my channel out so much. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already for more new Loc content. I also have some more Loc content coming up. Y'all be safe out here because this world is crazy. And with that being said, y'all, I'm out. Deuces. See you on the next one.
Yeah. I cannot see heaven being much better than this. Yeah. Blessings on blessings.